see, all right, so, okay, this is what happened. You think for a second. All right, so, okay, so I went to Supreme, and I went to buy a box of, Vans sneakers. Back in the day, when you buy sneakers, usually, like when a skateboarder was like sponsored, they would take their product, sell it to the store, or exchange it for something they like. So Mike Hernandez did that. I think he wrote for Vans, and on the box. So like I was like, like I think he might be a size 9 or 10 or something. I'm an 8.5. So they brought the Vans out, and his address was on it. Like it was like shipped to his house. And I got the sneakers. I didn't buy the sneakers because it wasn't my size, but I had a girlfriend with me at the time, another temporary girlfriend. So I took, like, she memorized the address. So I was like, all right, game's on. Pro skateboarders are pro skateboarders. If you want to be a pro skateboarder, God bless you. But what comes into not only like the luxury of like free products and traveling, but you're gonna get stalkers or trolls. You know what I mean? Like, so I got Mike's address, and every time he was in a magazine, I would send him a letter. So I would take the or a video or whatever, and I would send him I would take the letter. I would write him a love letter, saying like, "Oh, I saw you at like Banks, and like I saw that picture, and I was wondering like, I hope you were thinking about me while you were doing the trick because I'm your biggest fan. I want to be your girlfriend." I was a girl. My name was Seaweed in letters. So this happened a couple times. I see it in the video, and I would take the picture, and I would photocopy like 5 or 6 times, and I would cover up the envelope with with the picture. You know what I mean? So like when you got the letter, you know what the fuck? Why am I on this envelope? And so I did this numerous times and whatever, and it's fine. Just having my fun. And what happened was, okay, so in Slap Magazine, they gave me a full page, and they didn't tell me I was gonna get a full page, but they kind of like collected all my shit for the month, and they made it to a full page of like a dedicated writer or a dedicated reader to the magazine, and here's what he has to say. So in my letters, I'm using like all these names, like Shaggy, Sally Seaweed, Shane, like anybody, like I use everybody's name. I'd be like, if you want your name in the magazine, next time I write a magazine, I'll put your name in. That's what I used to do. So that issue came out, and it had like my photo in there, like a couple photos in there, and all my allies, all different letters they saved, and my allies. And in one letter, I wrote a letter about Mike Filelli. I'm saying like, I think Mike Filelli's hot, like I like him, I want to date him, I'm a groupie, like whatever, I think he's cool, and that issue came out, and I was like, oh shit, like, fuck, dude, like, Sally Seaweed's one of the letters. I was just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I did a lot of shit with Sally Seaweed. I also made flyers of skateboarders, like, because like back then it was just like all these guys were like riding for Deluxe. All these New York City skaters were riding for Deluxe. So what happened was, I guess like the scene of New York was dying out, like the skate scene. So they all got kicked off. So I made a flyer that said like, Sally Seaweed presents washed out skateboarders, and I named like Billy Wallman, Mike Hernandez, Ryan Hickey, like all those guys from New York that got kicked off at Deluxe. And what happened? And the thing I didn't like was, I'll tell you that later. But so I had friends. I think I sent some to Slap Magazine, and I had friends in San Francisco. So like, I tell them like go to like EMB, go to Pier 7, and make sure my flyers are hung up there, And so I had those flyers, and then I had the letter, that thing came out. Then I had letters sent to Mike Hernandez, and I guess he figured it out. So like I was skating around the city, and people was just coming up to me, like people were coming up to me like, "Yo, Ernie's looking for you." Like people I don't even know. Usually back in the day, like people told me, or like, "Yo, that's fucked up. What you doing, dude?" And I was just like, "Fuck," like I'm a dead man. I mean, like all these skateboarders are looking. Like that was like, oh shit, like these professional skateboarders are looking for me. That's how I got the post. Because back in the day, like they ignored you. You're from Jersey, they don't want nothing to do with you, no matter what. So I was like, fuck. And then I think a month later or 2 months later, Mike Fernandez got an interview in Big Brother. They did the Latino issue. And they asked him if he liked Jennifer Lopez or some other Latina singer. And he was just like, and then somebody in the background in the interview mentioned like, yo, what about Sally Seaweed? And they said, who's Sally Seaweed? He's like, oh, this motherfucking grommet skater, player, hater. When I see him, I'm going to smack him. He was sending my grandma's house letters. I didn't know it was his grandma, I thought it was his house. You know what the fuck, I got this address for the box. So from there, that just escalated. Like, you would think I'd be a little smart enough and be like, all right, I'm not going to Astor Place, I'm not going to go to Washington Square, I'm not going to go to Brooklyn Banks, but nope, I was still going to those spots. I was like, fuck, I'm still skating, So I was skating with a couple of homies from Jersey, and I was sitting at the fountain, and what happened was Mike Hernandez, Jeff Pang, and a couple other New York City heads rolled up, and they sat right on the fountain next to me. So I'm like in the middle. I'm like, got Jeff here, we got some, Billy, I don't know, somebody over there, like all famed, like all well-known skateboards. And I was just sitting there reading my book. And my yeah. All right. So camera tracks weirdos. So anyway, so I was just like, what am I gonna do? And the girl I dated at the time, she said to me, because I was talking to her about it, I was like, I don't know what to do if he confronts me, because I don't want to get beat up. She's like, just tell him it wasn't you. I don't like to lie. I don't lie. Even at the worst moments, I won't lie. I always tell the truth, because that's me. But I had to lie. So what happened was, so they sat around me, and I was like reading the book, pretending like I didn't know them, and they were kind of like pretending they don't know me, and it was just like a lot of vibe fun. I was trying to read this book here, and they were like kind of like Jeff was kind of like, yo, Mike, is that Sally over there? Like they were pointing over there, but they weren't pointing at me. But like they didn't know if it was me or not. And I was just sitting there like, oh shit, dude, I could get fucked up. Like basically the same thing as the movie Kids. How they beat up that dude. The guy they beat up, that was almost that was almost me. So what happened was they were there for like a good hour or two, and I was just sitting there the whole time. I didn't even skate. I was just like, I don't know what to do, And eventually, they just kind of packed it up and left. And they left, and I was like, holy shit, dude! I almost got fucking wrecked. And then Mike came back on his bike. He's like, yo, are you Shaggy? Or no, yeah. He said, are you Shaggy? And I said, no, that's not me. People mistaken me as him, but that's not me. And he was just like, well, whatever you did, that's fucked up, dude.
What's up, Shaggy?
What's up? How's it going? Chilling, man. How you doing, right? So I was just like I was like, no, it wasn't me. And he was just like, well, if it was you, that was some fucked up shit you did. If it wasn't you, I apologize. And then afterwards, the smoke cleared. And I was actually skating for a shop called, let me think for a second. I was getting hooked by a shop uptown. It was called NYPD. So they hired Mike Hernandez. And I was just like, I had to stop. I was getting free bullets at the shop, so I had to stop going there for he only worked there for a month or two. But for them too much, I had to avoid that shop and go to other shops and buy bullets. And I wasn't even buying bullets. I was going to other shops stealing bullets. Yeah, I went to Pro Sports. And I would steal boards from there. Remember Pro Sports in New York? So I used to go there, and I snatched 2 Ryan Hickey boards. I still got one at home. So he worked there for a month or two. And then I found out he left, so I was able to go back to the shop and get free boards. But then another time I saw him, I was like, yo, Sally Seaweed, motherfucker! Just yelling shit at me. And I was like, oh, I don't care about that. As long as I don't get beat up. I didn't mean to I didn't say nothing bad to him. Just kind of just being a troll, I didn't say nothing you suck, or I want to fight you. No, I was just fucking around, but he got upset about it. I guess maybe because I got close to his house with the letters. But I'm a troll, man. I do that to everybody. I still send mail to everybody.